We're back once again. Let Loose Podcast, man. We're in the building. You know we're gonna do what we can do when we can do it, baby, because we with the infamous, diabolical, relentless, undeniable, undisputed, retaining, greatest tag team podcast champions of the world. Jordan the Juggernaut James, Sam Moneyman Bam, and my dog Wes V, the architect, and we are the Let Loose Podcast. Yo!
Yo.
What's
What up?
What's
goodies?
going on? Episode 95, man. We back in the building, man. We got a lot of college stuff to talk about. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. With the college, we got to talk about the Heisman. The Heisman race is a four-man race. They finally got the finalists for the Heisman. And you know, we got to talk, man, we got to talk about these games, man. The first time for the 12 game playoff bracket, bro. So this is
Ooh,
so crazy. Man, they got some teams in here, man. Hey, man, we could talk about if everybody's supposed to be in there. You know, Jordan, let's start with you, bro. What you think
snubs?
about? What you think
Anybody
about?
get snubbed?
What about the snubs, bro?
I don't know. Did anybody get snubbed? I don't know. We got our predictions, breakdowns, all that coming up shortly. Like, share, subscribe, Let Loose Podcast. Thank you for watching and tuning in. We gravely appreciate everybody who tunes in with us and sticks with us on the daily. I appreciate y'all. YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, everywhere. We appreciate you. Lock in with us, man. Go ahead and follow.
Yeah.
All right. First off, we got the Heisman ceremony this weekend, and the four finalists have been announced. And we'll go ahead and we'll peep that.
What's up?
So, looking at these guys here, you got Dylan Gabriel, quarterback Oregon, quarterback Cam Ward from Miami, Ashton Genty from Boise State, and Travis Hunter. We'll call him a switch, wide receiver corner from Colorado.
Swiss Army knife.
Yes, man. He can do a little bit of everything. That dude's a savage. All right. So, initial thoughts on this, guys. I want one of you guys to go first because I got a full analytical breakdown of this dumb shit.
Bro, I was thinking about it earlier. I was taking a shower and I was like, I had a whole breakdown. So I'll go ahead and go first.
Who wins?
Who wins? I'm gonna say it's Ashton Genty. And
You think Jenny's gonna get it?
The reason why I say this, Dylan Gabriel is a 6-year college football player. He's been in numerous offenses, different teams. He's on the best team in the country. If Shador Sanders was on that team, do you think that he'd be in the Heisman? That they'd be number one in the country still?
Bro, I think he should have been in no matter what, but continue.
Bob, so I'm gonna take that as a yes. So
Yes.
uh, being on the best team in the country, being number one the entire season, he's going to be up there, of course. Cam Ward has better statistics than Dylan Gabriel, but Miami didn't even make the playoffs, so I don't think he's going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter, like I said, is a Swiss Army knife. Well, I think it's between him and Ashton Janty. Travis Hunter's offense is great. His defense is solid too, but he doesn't get thrown to enough for me to say he's elite. When he does get thrown to, yeah, by all means, he can make plays, he can make interceptions, deflect balls and stuff like that. Ashton Janty decided to stay at Boise State, not hit the transfer portal. They weren't even ranked at the beginning of the season. He is on the brink of breaking a single season rushing record. He pushed them to win their conference championship, and he got them a first round bye in the college playoff. All of that without even being ranked this season.
Yeah, having a good defense helps as well. But yeah, I feel you.
When you're rushing for 150 yards, 120 yards, 200 plus yards a game.
I mean, I'm not discrediting him. He's a generational
Right,
talent.
exactly.
Jenny's a savage. He deserves everything, and he definitely deserves to be there.
Okay,
If not, win.
And back to Travis Hunter. Colorado's not even in the playoffs. It's a quarterback. Unfortunately, mostly it's a quarterback award, just like the NFL MVP. But I think this year, obviously, I don't think it's going to go to Cam Ward or Dylan Gabriel. So it's definitely between Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty. But if I had to pick, I really feel like Ashton Jeanty will get it, just based on going from unranked to a first round bye in the playoffs and winning your conference championship. That's a hell of a lot more than what Colorado has done, in my opinion.
We can agree on that front. I don't think it's going to be Dylan Gabriel or Cam Ward in a sense, because looking at it, I can just tell you guys like this, bro. Like, Dylan Gabriel's not going to win the Heisman because, like you said, Oregon 13-0 this year. Yeah, sounds good. They're going to win it all more than likely. Exquisite, but it's nothing we ain't seen before. But the former 2 seasons, like, look, last couple years, Bo Nix's stats were similar in 2022.
Exactly.
In 2024, bro.
Back to
Bo
back.
Nix last year threw for 4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he was a runner-up, bro. That wasn't good enough to get the Heisman. Granted, Jaden Daniels had a phenomenal season as a dual threat, and he was going to win it no matter what. But that has a big part of this voting too. It's not just how far your team goes and goes in the playoffs. Look, like, how many ways can you impact this game? So Dylan Gabriel is going to be excused for that reason. But definitely, is he even? I don't even know if he's worthy of this trip, to be honest with you. I think Shedeur Sanders got snubbed, bro. He should have been making this trip instead of Dylan Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders was 3rd nationally in passing. He was 2nd nationally in touchdown passes, and he was sacked 38 times. Like, way more than any of these guys on here, bro. Like, and he threw 8 picks with that. So his numbers were way better than Dylan Gabriel's. He don't even belong on this list to me. No disrespect, phenomenal season, but no. I don't think Cam Ward, he's not going to win this based off of a lot of things I just said. Like, he had a great season. He shouldn't be discredited. Like, 2 losses they lost, neither one of it was on him. He threw for over 350 in both games and multiple touchdowns, no picks. It's not all just on him. So, but it's just his stats don't line up with the winners in the past. They line up more with the runner-ups, like, the C.J. Strouds and caliber players like that. Even Stroud's numbers was essentially better the one year, but there's levels to this. You didn't do what a Caleb Williams did. You didn't do what a Jaden Daniels did. You didn't, so I just think Cam Ward's not going to win it like that. On top of, them not being there too doesn't exactly help them any. And then you got Jeanty and Hunter. That's what it comes down to, bro. I don't think Jenny's going to win this, bro. I think they're going to give it to Travis Hunter. I think he's not going to win this because, like, to me, this committee for Heisman shows no love to running backs, bro. Over the last 20 years, we've had 3 running back Heisman winners, bro. 3. That's it. So he's 131 yards away from, breaking Barry Sanders' record. I don't know if he's going to get that or not, because if my calculation is correct, he probably going to have to play Penn State. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Might not. But even if he does, 29 touchdowns on the year, not going to break Barry's 37, even though Barry did it in 11 games. But still, impressive nonetheless. Like, Boise State has a killer season this year. It's great, all that. But Travis Hunter's going to win, dude, because he's plays both sides of the ball at the highest level. And that's what it boils down to. And outside of the Kansas State game where he left hurt, and then the next week he played injured, dude, he showed up in 10 other games. His performance in those 10 games is unmatched. Like, on the season, he leads his team 92 receptions on the year. That's 5th in the nation. He has 1,152 yards receiving. That's 6th in the nation, and 14 touchdowns. That's 2nd in the nation. That's as a receiver. And then on the flip side, add a rushing yard touchdown to that, by the way. And then as a corner, he registered 11 passes defended, which that was tied for 4th in the nation, and he had 4 picks. And look, the person who led the league in picks had 7. He had one guy with 6, a couple guys with 5, a couple guys with 4. So, I mean, and he doesn't get thrown at a whole lot, know. So, I mean, this is undoubtedly, and icing on the cake, forced fumble, thrown to the mix. And on top of that, you're Colorado. Your box office, you made them relevant again. You made Boulder a top attraction, must see.
Definitely.
The last couple of years. So I mean, definitely Travis Hunter wins the Heisman.
Hey, we got a comment on YouTube from our homeboy Dougie Fresh. Fresh collects. No running back affects the game enough anymore. love him, but easy to overlook. Hunter playing both
I
ways
see you.
will
What up,
win.
Dougie Fresh? What's going on, bro? Appreciate
So
you.
so
Yeah,
he
they
agrees with you,
it
Jordan.
doesn't. They just don't get the right shine, man. Like I said, but go ahead, Sam. Who you got winning? Appreciate you, Doug.
Man, y'all pretty much hit it on the head. But like you said with Cam Ward was very high octane or whatever from the beginning. And then I guess with the losing and stuff, like he just wasn't playing as thorough or whatever. So I feel like that kind of eliminates Cam Ward. Dylan, like I say, he got the record, but you had a team. You just kind of fell into the team,
Mm-hmm.
after Bo Nix left, and he just kind of fell into place or whatever. You already had all the pieces already together, so I mean, you can't really say that he's the guy. So I'm not feeling that really as well. But Genty, I feel like Genty, bro, was super consistent during the whole season, bro. I feel like he was
Facts.
hella consistent, bro. 100 this, 200 this, 100 this, 2 touchdowns here, bro. And I'm talking about like his breakaway speed, bro, is like so crazy to me. I like Travis Hunter. What he's done, man. 120 plays a game on
Yeah,
both sides of the ball. You know
I
what I'm
will give
saying?
him
Like
that.
for an Iron Man. He
He's
is an
probably
Iron
played
Man,
three
bro.
times more plays than anybody else in college
Right,
football.
right,
I
and
will
doing
give
that
him
stuff
that.
No question.
at a consistent rate. Like you say, he got hurt the one game, but this man been playing at a high level, bro, and it still seems like he's a man among boys. He could easily be the number one pick. You feel me? He was the number one coming out of freaking high school, and he went to Dion. He went to Jackson State with Dion or whatever, and he was showing out. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, just the upbringing and the story behind Travis Hunter, bro, is so much more glorious than the 1 year of Genty. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
personally, I feel like that shit that Genty did, bro, hasn't been done in like 10 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Genty should win that shit, bro. As much as Travis Hunter did or whatever, he's had his time or whatever, man. He's a superstar. You know, he does everything, man. Like it's the culture. It's the
But was
culture
he
that
doing what
he's
he's
in.
doing now at Jacksonville State? Was he playing both sides of the ball?
He
Yeah.
was.
Was
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
Yep.
was. He was doing that
Okay.
shit even better then. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I know when they were there, Jacksonville State, they ended up being legit and stuff. They won like 11-1 or something like that.
Right. Jackson
Yeah.
State. Jackson State.
Jackson
State.
State. I thought it was Jacksonville State.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing, man. I feel like Genty, man, really showed out. Like I say, he played good against Oregon, man, when it was time for him to play against SMU. Not SMU, but who they played? Who boys play?
Shit, I watched that game. We called it and picked
UNLV.
Oh,
it.
UNLV.
Yeah,
Right.
UNLV.
Right.
Defense.
Had the big
Defense.
bro. Like
Defense.
man.
Bro, they
Corners,
was doing
corners, bro,
good.
blitzing.
They was doing good on Genty for the most part until that one big
That
run
one big break at the end.
busted them, and then they were toast. But yeah,
Right.
defense though that game, my God.
But I like Genty on this one, man. I feel like Genty should get his flowers. Definitely, like I said, it's gonna be so close, bro. But I gotta go with Genty.
Word.
We got a comment on TikTok from our loyal watcher, Chavez 1313. How many people in the last 50 years played both sides of the ball?
Not too many at an
Many.
effective rate, like none at his level, but except for Charles Woodson was pretty good.
Yes, sir.
We've had a couple guys here and there. Shit, what other names come to mind off? Nobody even comes to mind off
Not
rip
even
for me.
right. Not at all.
Yeah, nobody comes to mind even off rip for me. Not in the last 20. No, man.
I can't think of
But
it really.
what's up, Tony? Appreciate you, bro. That's my homeboy from back in the day. Eagles fan. We'll get to the NFL tomorrow, bro. Make sure you tune back in. Everybody tune back in tomorrow for the NFL stream. We will be on here tomorrow for the NFL stream. So, bottom line, I got Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. Sam, you got Genty winning the Heisman. Wes, you got Genty?
Yes, sir.
Well, if y'all going Genty, I'm going Travis Hunter. All right. That's this weekend, so y'all tune into that. let's get to some college football playoff shit, bro. Let's go to the bracket from and how it's looking now. I'll get a live reaction out of us. We haven't really talked about it, we save it for the show.
Who wants
Ladies
to
and
go first?
gentlemen, first ever college football bracket is out, and we're just gonna react to it
Ooh.
real quick. I want to know if y'all think any teams got snubbed or if you think they got the right teams. So we'll go ahead and put this bracket up here, and then I'll ask you, Sam. I'll ask you first, bro. Do you think they got the right 12 teams in this bracket, and or do you think somebody got snubbed? What you think?
Between Miami and Alabama, I believe one of those guys should have been in there. I feel like one of those guys definitely should have been in there, man. They've been playing great seasons, especially Alabama because they play that hell of a schedule. Miami, not so much, but they losing that game in Syracuse, bro. That really knocked them boys out, So I wanted to see Miami in there, but that's okay. But that Alabama team, bro, that Alabama team, I feel like because you got Clemson in there, bro. Just because they won the freaking, you know what I'm saying? They won the conference, bro. That's the only reason that they got in there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only reason, bro.
But
Because
the,
they've been looking ugly, bro. I'm not gonna
but
say all season, but they've had their share of losses too.
but if you put Miami in, like, who would you have taken out though?
Not Miami, but Alabama. I'm saying
Alabama,
Alabama,
yeah. Well,
right?
they had three losses, and Miami with two. But yeah, who would you take out though if you were gonna put Bama in?
If Clemson didn't win that or whatever, I was gonna take Clemson out.
Right,
Definitely at the
right. Well,
12.
yeah. Well, that would have been their fourth loss. So I mean, they would have been hit no matter what. So
Hmm.
they would have been in anyway, probably
Right,
if SMU would have beat them.
right. Like I said, you still got SMU in there. But they had two losses though, right? SMU had two losses
Yep.
after the
Yeah,
championship, right?
after the conference
Mhm.
championship.
Right. But they was at 8, so that, I mean that's not too bad. Uh, Everything else looks pretty solid, I guess, to the most part. Indiana, I know they only had the one loss. Notre Dame had that horrible loss or whatever the second week of the year.
Now, this is shows you what the draw means for college football. Okay, Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois.
Right.
Okay, non-ranked opponent they should never lose to,
Never lost them.
and Army loses one game to Notre Dame, and they're probably gonna beat Navy this weekend, and they're not gonna get in there. Do you see? That's that bullshit, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a snub right there. And they beat Navy this week. That's gonna be a snub. Because at that point you lost the one game to a Notre Dame team. Bad
Right.
loss, albeit, but they're a top ranked team. Army's not supposed to win that game.
Hmm.
Like look what they just did. The upset they pulled last week. That weather, dude. They got in Tulane ass, man. I told you I had a feeling about Army at that game,
Yeah, you
bro. Line
said
it
it.
up. That shit's cold up there. You every single play wear and tear on them linemen, bro. Shit.
Man, that jump wasn't even close, bro. I was like, damn, what are y'all
No,
doing?
I couldn't believe it.
Throwing picks and all types of stuff. But
I couldn't believe it.
they got that freshman quarterback too. But he been doing good, pretty decent all season though.
Yeah,
So
definitely, no doubt, no nothing taken away from him. It was just Army was better that day. So
yeah, definitely
um,
was.
I think it's appropriate. This bracket is appropriate. All the right and all the teams that needed to be in were in. For the first time, I'll give the committee some credit. I definitely think it was appropriate. The potential snubs, the common, like you just mentioned, Alabama. But look, 9-3, you lose to Vanderbilt 40-35. I mean, that's just
Hmm.
unbearable. But even then, your second loss, Tennessee 24-17. Okay, they can maybe even look past that one. But when you lost 24-3 to Oklahoma at that point, an Oklahoma team that had already
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
started hitting Rob, like, no, I just can't. You couldn't get that. But if they would have won that game, I think that they would have had that final spot in that
Right.
playoffs over the loser of the ACC championship, no matter who it
Right.
would have been, especially if it was Clemson, because that would have been their fourth loss. They would have been
Hmm.
out
Hmm.
anyway. But
Hmm.
even SMU, I think they would have gotten over them if they would have had one last loss, but they didn't handle business. Then Miami, 10-2, you lost to Georgia Tech 28-23, then lost to Syracuse 42-38
Right.
after being up 21 nothing. But The problem with that was both losses came in the last 3 weeks of your season at the worst time. You know what I
At the
mean?
worst time,
And
exactly.
the
It's all right
ACC,
to lose a game or two in the beginning of the season, but definitely not at the
Yeah,
end.
not at the end. Hell no.
especially now if it's out of conference too, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit here. But and not to mention the ACC was at an all-time high this year. You had SMU 11-2, Clemson 10-3 per usual, Syracuse 9-3, Louisville 8-4. I mean, you had a lot of good teams in the ACC.
Hot.
They were really strong, like especially late. You had teams that were 8-0, 7-0, 7-1. Like they was doing good for a while, bro. Like,
Yeah, that Louisville
but
team was super good.
yeah, and Pitt was looking good for a minute. I know Westlake seeing them take a shit or whatever,
Yeah,
but they started
Eastern
Man,
like what
Pitt.
man,
seven and
oh my
zero.
God, yeah,
Yeah,
right, and lost the last
crazy.
5, right.
But Miami, they flat out blew it, so you can't put them in or whatever. But with the current 12 team format, it'd be very difficult for any teams getting in moving forward, like with more than 2 losses. So everything's got to line up, strength of schedule, the severity of the loss, and pretty much the overall basis of the other teams, surrounding at that said time. But if you have more than 2 losses, it's going to be really hard moving forward, bro, to get in the playoffs. You got to handle business, bro.
Right.
A lot of tweaks got to be made for this new format, bro. I think we got to stop doing certain shit like when you categorize ranked teams, because ranked teams doesn't necessarily mean shit at the end of the season. Like they got to go
Right.
more
Not for
based
this,
on a
not for
power
this type of
metric.
format.
No. I mean, look at
At all.
Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech opened the season. They upset Florida State in week 1, and Florida State was ranked 10th. Do they get credit for that upset right now versus
Nope.
the 10th ranked team? Florida
Fuck no.
State's 2-10.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the rankings change like the women. Okay, like that's just how it is, and that's no shade at women. We love our women. We are all
yeah.
happily married men, but you just got to be ready to change with the times. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Right.
so we can't totally hold rankings as a determining factor. Not that they're the only one, the biggest one that matter. I'm just saying, like, they got a lot of tweaks and shit to do with this. This is just the first one. It's gonna be a lot more to it, man. But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, I think the right teams got in. Wes, you feel like the right teams got in, or you think somebody got snubbed?
Yeah, for the most part, I'm still. I mean, we'll get to it when we break down our brackets and who we got winning all the way up to the national championship. But I'll break it down. When I hit mine, and I think for the most part, all the right teams got in. I'm just iffy on a couple of them that are in.
Right. All right. Well, we'll get to that. But if you're overall good with it, before we get to our bracket predictions, because we all predicted our own bracket. We're gonna get to it and share it with you guys. But before we do that, I just want to say that the bottom line on this game selection here, man, is the right teams were selected. I feel like I said, but it just wasn't that playoff teams that I wanted to see in. I wanted to see Alabama and I wanted to see Miami in there.
Right.
Do they deserve to be in over these teams? No, I can't say that, but it's just unfortunate as a fan, that these teams didn't handle their business or it's just only a certain amount. But this is by next year it might be 14 teams.
Well, I'll say Arizona
Not
State.
next year, but in a couple of years. I know it takes time, but from all it took was 1 year of Bama getting left out, and then all of a sudden, watch they go.
Bama's ranked
They done
11th.
failed. They done failed, man, in life.
Bama is
Because,
ranked
all-
11th, and Arizona State is ranked 12th, but they got in over Alabama. Given
And a
because
first round bye.
given because they won their conference championship, which I understand, but
Yeah, no question.
That's
that's
crazy.
that's the
crazy,
logic. You
bro.
win your conference championship, you're basically in.
Yeah, but they got to take that shit in account, dude. Because there's no reason Boise State has a first round bye. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but the competition, there's no reason for that. That sounds ridiculous. I'm sorry. No shade at
Hey
them.
man,
I'm
I
just
told you at the
saying.
beginning of the season to watch out for Boise State.
You did.
You did.
But that's not the point. So I will say this too. There's going to be several teams, bro, that are going to take into account for future scheduling of opponents outside of the conferences, bro. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you're going to get
Gotta
penalized.
get some.
You know, and it's your conference record that you got to handle anyway. You got to pile up these wins as you can get them. So who cares? You don't have to give the people the matchups that they care to see anymore because it's an overall goal now, again, to the college football playoffs. And, we
That's
can't be
it.
scheduling the big teams anymore. You're not going to see like the Clemson Alabamas or the Clemson Georgias as much anymore. And, SMU and BYU's, because BYU was one of SMU's losses this year. It wasn't a conference loss, but still a loss that could have fucked them if they would have got left out of this. So, I mean, just a thought, we're going to see a lot more teams play shittier out of conference opponents. Going to get worse and worse the next 5, 10. Like, as long as this playoff format's in effect, it'll be worse.
Dougie Fresh says that they're already talking about 14 teams in 2026.
Yeah, I ain't that a bitch. How about that? Yeah.
I can believe it.
All it takes is Bama getting left out.
And then by that time, when 2026 comes, another team will get left out, and then they'll fucking talk 20 teams. You might as well just make it like the basketball. And
right,
then
64 teams.
Yeah,
right.
64 fucking teams started at the beginning of the season.
That's way too many.
No preseason, no nothing.
Bro, I feel like this is way too many teams, though. I always thought it would be too many teams because, say if you Texas, you got to play Clemson. Then you got to play the next game, the next game, the next. Come on, man. 4 games back to back. This ain't no goddamn NFL playoffs, bro. Man,
yeah, bro.
That's what they're getting them ready for.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like, that's why a lot of tweaks got to be made, bro. Because like things lined up for a lot of teams this year, but some teams didn't. Like, Penn State loses their conference title game, then they get SMU at home,
right,
and then they got Boise State, whereas they advantage them like a mug, like, bro. And then Oregon wins, they get a bye, yes, but then you get Ohio State or Tennessee at home, I guess, but high caliber teams, tougher matchup. That's the 1 seed, bro. Right. They don't get no easier from there.
Don't get no easier.
Like, come on, they're the 1 seed, man. Like,
because it's supposed to be the top teams in the country get in the playoff. No easy games.
Like, man, that's crazy, bro. They just
and then you get home field. You get home field too. Like you think that'll be a neutral field. That'll be a neutral field for these quarterfinals.
Yep.
First round quarterfinals. You know what I'm saying?
Well, only the first round or the first couple is at home, right?
Yeah, the first round I think is home, and then the rest of them are like bowl games. So
like the regular
neutral sites.
Well, they're both. Well, the matchups this week, and then when they meet up, the ones who have bye weeks now,
right? And then the next week, the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
the ones that got the bye, whatever. All those guys at home.
So the first week, this first round, I'm assuming all these teams like Tennessee and Ohio State, that's going to be at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then the second round will be like the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, Verba Bowl, Verba Fiesta Bowl, and All-State Sugar Bowl. So those should be on neutral sites because they're bowl games, correct?
That's a lot of games, though. Still,
no, the quarterfinal games.
Yeah, those are bowl games. Bowl games.
Yeah, bowl games. Yeah,
bowl games are usually neutral sites, right?
Yeah, they are neutral sites.
Right. Mm-hmm. So then the semifinal, you got the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, and then the Capital One Orange Bowl, and then the national championship. I don't know where the fuck that's at. I don't know where they're playing that. The Rose Bowl, right? Didn't it? They still do that
for the championship?
Yeah, where they play the championship at?
Oh, I don't know where the championship's at this year.
Or is it like the NFL, how they change it every year? I can't remember.
They change it every year.
Do they? I never paid attention.
It's in New Orleans a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's in New Orleans every year. I don't know.
I'm not really sure. Super Bowl's in New Orleans this year.
So, we ready to go over some bracket predictors?
Yeah, he wants to go first.
Yeah.
Everybody predicted a bracket. It turned out everybody threw together a bracket, and we're gonna kind of see how it unfolds. We might have to revisit a couple games in a week or two if a couple of them taking absolute shit
next week.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I'll go first. I'll go first on this one.
Let's go, Sam. Let's hear it.
Right.
Bring it up.
Hold up.
He's good. Go ahead.
All right, man. Let's go.
All right.
Sam's bracket.
Y'all sit back and listen, man. Straight up. Okay, so the first round, we got Clemson and Texas. Texas just faced that stupid loss or whatever from Georgia again. ETN, whatever, ran over them boys. So clearly that's going to be the weakness of Texas defense or whatever, that front seven. But with Phil Maffa, whatever, not being healthy or whatever, I don't think they'll have too much to worry about in Texas. But freaking, man, I don't know if they're going to have a quarterback controversy because that boy had them freaking killed it or whatever in Texas, bro. For real. They should have put Archie Manning in that shit, bro, some type of way.
I think he played like one down.
Yeah, like a couple downs.
They got plays for him. They need to get him involved.
Mm-hmm. But Quentin Ewers, man, for real, man, from started with the beginning of last year to what you looking like now, bro, it's like night and day. So I'm gonna need for those boys or whatever to get that stuff together, whatever defensively. But I got Texas winning that first game or whatever at Texas, just because Clemson, Phil Maffa is not really that guy right now. Klubnik freaking had a freaking field day. He had a field day, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's gonna be an
Question.
easy game, but I feel like Texas is gonna pick that win up. Tennessee, Ohio State. Oh my goodness. Whew. This is
Ohio
gonna be
soft.
hey, it's gonna be a lot of points scored in this game. Tennessee, whatever, still looking good with the young quarterback. Ohio State, you got Junkins. You know, you got all those guys over there, the $1 million men over there. But the playing hostile Ohio State, I don't think Tennessee gonna score enough points, man. I think it's gonna be a very high scoring game. I'm saying 60 plus, 30 to 30 something, But I think Ohio State will pull it off in the end. Junkins probably pull that stuff off. Ibaka, whatever his name is, the receiver.
Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Igbudi.
Ibukasis.
Emeka Ibuka.
Hey, so I feel like Ohio State will win that one. SMU and Penn State. Penn State, man, took a pivotal loss, and I thought them boys was gonna pull it off. They had a lot of rushing. They had a lot of rushing yards, man. Katron went crazy. Singleton went crazy, but freaking Drew Aller, whatever, threw those 2 picks, man. That was too much. You can't have one pick. You can't have one turnover against this Oregon. Oregon, you know what I'm saying? So that was just like the breaking point of that.
He still
stuff,
did
whatever.
enough to win, though. I think, bro.
Right.
They supposed to win that.
Almost had 300 yards rushing. So
Yeah.
Penn State got the short end of the stick on that one. SMU, bro, they played a good game coming back. The Clemson, because they was down like 14, 18 points. The boys came back. Kevin, what's his name? Kevin Jennings. What's
Jennings.
Quarterback? Kevin Jennings, man, he played his ass off. He did his thing or whatever. Just wasn't enough to come back at the end. But like I say, with Phil Maffa not being 100%, bro, I think he might have had like 3 or 4 carries or whatever, one receiving, one catch or whatever. That wasn't gonna be enough. Penn State, man, they're gonna bring it at SMU, bro, all different types of ways or whatever in that running game. Sweeps, man, gadget plays, all types of stuff. Drew L, I believe I feel like he should have a great game. Kevin Jennings, that Penn State defense, man, they're probably gonna shut him down, probably like 15 to 18 points. I feel like Penn State gonna get a big win against SMU. Then we got Notre Dame. And we got Indiana. And Indiana, man, has shocked a lot of people this year. Because
they're in the playoff.
Bro, nobody thought that Indiana would be as good as they are this year. Notre Dame, man, what can you say about Notre Dame, bro? With the one loss or whatever, man, they've won 10 straight. You feel me? So they're definitely hot right now. I think Indiana only lost 1 game, or they lost 2 games.
1.
Indiana?
They only just
Ohio State.
lost 1 game. Okay, so I feel like that's gonna be a good game too, man. Because a lot of people not giving Indiana their flowers, but Notre Dame, I feel like, can still pull this game off, especially being in Notre Dame. It's just gonna be a tough matchup, or whatever, for Indiana. They haven't been in a situation like this in years, bro. I've never seen Indiana like being
No, they haven't.
right ever. You feel me? Maybe in basketball or something like that, but not in no football setting. I feel like Notre Dame should get the win late 4th quarter or whatever. I feel like they can run the ball. I feel like that's their go-to right now. I'm going with Notre Dame.
Noted.
That one. So
All right, moving on. So that's it. So now quarterfinals.
quarterfinals. So we got Texas and Arizona State. Arizona State, man, is putting up so many points right now, man, to make your head spin. These guys got it going on. I don't know where these boys come from. Man, these boys are freaking. That's your boy. Cam. What his name? The running back.
Scatterbo.
Yeah,
Scatterbo.
Whoa, man,
Scatterbo.
Scatterbo.
Scatterbo. Man, that man crazy, bro. I've been seeing the highlights on this young guy, bro. Man, he
You
is
say he the
freaking
best running back in
Yeah,
college.
yeah, that's what he thinks.
man.
That's
He
what
he
he
look,
said.
looking good, bro. He looking good. But take defense like Georgia. Georgia defense still solid. It's just their offense, man, that's shaking up.
Texas. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying Georgia.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Georgia defense is still solid,
Okay.
whatever. But like I said, they just got Texas number. But I feel like Texas can beat Arizona State. Very close game. I don't think Arizona gonna be scoring all those 30 and 40 points. I think they might score maybe 21 points, and I feel like Texas might can beat those guys 24-21. Good ass game. Even in Arizona, that Arizona State whatever crowd, man, is going crazy right now for these guys. I just feel like Texas is just gonna be a little bit too strong for them. I feel like Texas can beat just about anybody except for like maybe like two teams. You know what I'm saying? They just that strong. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Ohio State and you got the Oregon, and this is the rematch. You know, they lost 1 point. Ohio State lost 1 point or whatever to Oregon. Like I say, bonehead play. Oregon still is strong. You know that boy Dylan, man, still doing this thing. Jordan James over there, whatever, running his ass off, man, doing everything he's supposed to do, bro.
Bamo.
Hell yeah, goddamn Tez, Mr. Tez over there, whatever, showing out and all those things, bro. I like Oregon. I like Oregon on this one for another close game. I think it's gonna be another close game, but I think it'd be more than like 1 point. I think it'd be more like maybe like 4 or 5 points. You know, Oregon still got that stuff going on, and like I say, you just can't make no mistakes against that Oregon defense, bro. And it's at home, so it's gonna be a little bit. That's gonna be a feisty game, bro. For real, a lot of fights, a lot of stuff just going on with those guys, bro. They really do hate each other. Boise State,
Yes, sir.
Boise State. Man, your boy Mad Max. That boy man showed out last week, man. Mad Max did his thing.
Yeah, he did.
Had the running touchdown, man. He had him through for one. You know,
That dime he threw. Oh my
bro,
God, that pass was on the money.
Come on. I can't think of that guy's name, man. I can't think of that guy, the receiver's name. I cannot think his name right now, but man, he is crucial though. But
His name escapes me too. But yeah, that was a hell of a throw though. But Boise State balled out that game. Defense, my God, defense.
Right.
7 points. Shut them boys down to 7 points.
It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
But Penn State, man, got that way better defense, man, than anybody them boys really ever played. You know, that Oregon defense that they played, you know, it was great. Back what that was, week 2.
Yes, it was.
That was great defense, but nothing like Penn State. Penn State, man, is the pinnacle of defense, man. There's like top 3, top 5 right now, whatever in defense, and I feel like boys they'll probably be the what it is.
The favorite?
They'll probably be the favorite. That's what I'm
No
gonna say.
way.
Against Penn State?
I think
No
boys will be
way.
the favorite at home.
Hell, no, it's not a home game. That's a neutral field.
Yeah, that'll be a neutral field.
Oh, that'll be neutral field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if
okay.
they was at home, they ain't gonna be favored over Penn State. No way.
Might
But continue.
be.
My bad. I wasn't
know.
trying to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I don't know, but like I said, I'm liking Penn State for this one. Like I say, defensively, and I feel like they can run all those guys pretty effectively. I don't think it'll be too much of a matchup. But they
Sure.
definitely got to stop Genty though. Definitely got to stop Genty, man. That got to be the first and foremost, and everybody else got to get their stuff, whatever, secondary. So I like Penn State for that one. Then we got Georgia, Notre Dame. Man, so I don't know what they're doing with the quarterback because you know Beck is hurt. Beck is hurt right now, so
Upper extremity injury.
man, but he been playing like he been hurt, man, for about the last 5 or 6 games though, regardless, because he been throwing picks, man, haven't been accurate. And if it wasn't for Travis Etienne, whatever, going over there from Florida to Georgia, bro, man, they'll be in a world of hurt.
Boy, he was Texas's kryptonite this year, boy.
Man, five touchdowns in 2 games, bro. Like it's just been crazy, man, to see that.
The
man
player that I said wouldn't be a factor going into it because he ain't played leading up
He
to
ain't
it.
played,
They were
came
saving him for it,
in.
I guess.
Had to. But I think Georgia's still tough, man. Like I said, the defense is so tough. Notre Dame, they're gonna have to come with more offense than they've been coming with. I don't feel like they have a lot of offense. They have guys or whatever, but they don't put that stuff together properly. I'm liking Georgia. I'm liking Georgia, bro, against Notre Dame.
All right.
Like Georgia. So with the semi, I got Texas and Oregon, which is gonna be super crazy just because Oregon, man, don't look like they want to be beat by nobody, bro. It look like they got an answer to every question on the test. Texas got some freaking issues, man. Even Jaden Blue or whatever, the running back, Jaden Blue, whatever, wasn't even doing much the last game. I think he might have got injured. I think he got injured early in the game or whatever. They had some guy, Wilden or something like that or whatever. He did okay, but he's not Jaden Blue. So I'm going with Oregon in that game.
Yeah.
In the first one. And then you got Penn State, Georgia. And Penn State, man, as much as I love y'all defense, bro, Georgia's defense is a little bit better, man. And I feel like they can get past y'all. And Drew Allen, man, you gotta have a freaking 350-yard game, 3 touchdowns, no picks to beat these guys, bro. And I just don't know if you can do that stuff, whatever, because like you say, the receivers are not it, bro. The tight end is the main receiver, like you said before. He's the main receiver, just like he was the last game. You know, like I don't know if you can run on that Georgia defense like that. So I got Georgia. So I got Oregon and Georgia, whatever, man, for the national championship.
Yes, sir. Who you got emerging victorious? Who is your national champion at first look? Oregon, Georgia.
I got to go Oregon. Oregon.
The Ducks win.
Just because there's so many injuries or whatever on Georgia. I don't know if they can get through that Oregon offense, bro. Oregon's offense, man, is so freaking pivotal right now, bro. It's like they do everything right. That's what I just don't understand it, bro. They do everything, even if they're messing up, bro. It's not messing up bad enough that they can't get that stuff together, you know?
Yes, sir.
Best team in the land.
All right. Well, all right. So at first glance, Sam, you got the Oregon Ducks beating the Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship. Man, I can't wait to watch this first playoff unfold, bro, for the 12 team, man. This is going to be exciting.
Because this shit might get flipped in like 2 days.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, 1 year, first year right off rip, Bama gets left out this shit, bro. Oh no, we gotta change the format, bro. This ain't good for our fucking dollar. Like we can't make no more money off of this. Hold up. So. All right, well can I go next? I want to go next.
By all means, go for it.
Yes,
all right, I want to go next, bro. Throw my bracket up there,
and
I'm gonna tell you how. Let me talk to you. So, all right, first game we'll go like this. Looking at this here, we got Clemson at Texas. Bro, to be honest, Texas concerns me, man. This rematch, you got these two quarterbacks. Quinn Ewers and Cade Klubnik, they faced off in high school. I don't know if you guys knew that, but 2 Texas quarterbacks. But anyways, yeah, Texas concerns me, bro. And I don't know if they can win the big game, bro. I really don't know. Their inability to finish sometimes is nothing to ignore, bro. Last game, multiple missed field goals, 3 turnovers, and the inability to run the ball, dude. The run game is non-existent, and not to mention, like you stated, Sam, Carson Beck went down on the final play of the first half, and didn't return. So Texas was up 6-3 at that point, and they still managed to lose that game, 22-19 in overtime.
Yep.
Then on the flip side, we got Clemson coming in under the radar, kind of being slept on, bro. They went up 24-7 in the first half against SMU, and then they ended up surviving the 17-point fourth quarter surge by SMU. Ultimately winning 34-31 on the last second field goal. That was a clutch win, bro. You get the kickoff, and 1 good return, 1 pass, and a 56-yard dagger for get Clemson the dub, bro. I mean, that's 1 pass, 1 return. That's impressive. 16 seconds. They had 16 seconds to do that. That's impressive, nonetheless. Something special about that. But, some might say Clemson might have the inability to finish too, kind of like I just said about Texas. But I feel more like watching that game that they kind of let up. You're up 24-7 and a half, and you're kind of, it's not really you're playing SMU, you're Clemson, you've dominated that, conference essentially. So, I think they just kind of got they were victims of being on their high horse temporarily,
Right.
but they ended up pulling it out, man. And then I'm looking at this shit like, um, there's no way that will happen against Texas. They're not gonna let no lead slip up because they're not gonna, get up on Texas that big. Number one, I don't think, and allow them to come back. No, I just don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're in trouble here if Texas goes up on them. Their inability to come back in games might be
Right.
problematic. But
Mm-hmm.
looking at the schedule, Clemson has faced Georgia, South Carolina, and SMU. Those are all top teams. And they lost two out of those three, but only the Georgia game was a blowout. Texas can't beat them either, so who cares?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Texas has only faced Georgia as a formidable opponent this year when I'm looking at it, and they lost both times. And not to mention, Dabo Swinney is one out of two coaches currently in college football playoffs that has a ring, bro. He's been there, done it. Give me Clemson in this upset game, bro.
Mm.
Next game, we're going Tennessee, Ohio State. I would love to see Tennessee win this
Yeah,
game.
you would, wouldn't you?
Talk
Bro,
to 'em.
Ohio, the pressure's still on Ohio State, bro, because you get in there tripping, bro, they're gonna boo you out your own stadium, and it's gonna be riots in Columbus. It's gonna be national fucking chaos. You're gonna need the National Guard in Columbus if they lose this game. Ryan
Ryan Day
Day,
might
get
have
him
to
and
go
his
underground.
family to safety ASAP. But anyway, which Ohio State team are we gonna see though? Are we gonna get Ohio State or are we gonna get Ohio soft? Because we've been seeing a little bit of both lately.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, honestly, all jokes aside, if Ohio State plays to their strengths, which is the outside vertical passing game, they should win a tight one here. I think their defense will hold it down, especially being at home. Tennessee's defense, especially their front seven, is elite, bro, and they will present the Buckeyes with problems, especially if they buy into their playing style like they did against Michigan, bro. Tennessee is going to want to pound that rock with Dylan Sampson, their running back. That's their go-to, bro, nonstop. And if Ohio State tries to match that, whether it be ego or they just not trusting Will Howard like that, that's going to present problems if you try to beat them in the trenches because you probably will lose. That's how you lost to Michigan, all honesty. I think they've learned, though. I don't think they're going to do that. I expect them to air it out. I expect them to handle business. Obviously, Nico Iamaleava.
Yep.
Nico Iamaleava, freshman quarterback for Tennessee. He's been good this year, but he got a lot of growing pains. Hostile environment.
Still
This is going to
do.
be a tough game. I like the Buckeyes winning this game, unfortunately, but you better watch out for Tennessee, bro. You got to play to your own game, bro. You can't play to other teams' strengths and expect to beat them like that. You are one of the best teams at what you do outside of the ball, air raid attack offense. Stick to that shit, bro. Don't try to beat teams in the trenches like that. That's not your bread and butter. That's our bread and butter.
There you go.
Next game we got SMU at Penn State. So incredible year for SMU this year, 11-2. They fell just short of the ACC championship, but congrats on that, man. This is the
Had a
first
strong
matchup.
second half.
Yeah, bro. This is the first matchup between SMU and Penn State since 1978. That being said, three things matter here to me, fellas. Number one, SMU is located in Dallas, Texas, and they're traveling to Pennsylvania 4 days before Christmas. It's cold up here. I live here. It's cold.
Yeah, it is.
Second thing, home field advantage is pivotal, especially Beaver Stadium, bro, which SMU, they've never been there. And I'm telling you, as a Michigan fan, that place is fucking insane.
I bet.
Third thing, there's levels to this, bro.
Is it a night game?
Nope. 12
No,
o'clock.
they got the noon slot.
Okay,
They got the
heard
noon
that.
slot.
Heard
If it was, we wouldn't have to say no more. But third one is there's levels to this, bro. I'm taking Penn State 100 times out of 100 to beat SMU, bro. They're
Hell
just
yeah.
better, and that's all I got to say about that. No disrespect to SMU, great season. I hope we see a great game. But after that last loss, Penn State, bro, and their ability to show, Katron Allen's looking all-time great right now, as well as Singleton, bro. Their receivers actually did come up somewhat, producing more than what they have the last game. So I
Right.
mean, offensively, they did enough offensively to win that game, and I expect them to
Yeah.
retire. And I think they're gonna blast SMU, honestly. Next,
500 total yards.
let's go to my quarterfinals. So, if this pans out, my quarterfinals will look like, or no, I'm sorry, I skipped a game.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't hear you talk about that one.
I shaded both teams because I don't care for both of them as a Michigan fan. Let's talk Indiana at Notre Dame, in-state rival, if you want to call it that. Even though Notre Dame don't like to schedule Big Ten opponents when said opponent's been beating them yearly, but that's neither here or
Hey,
there.
they don't belong to any conference, okay? They can do
That's it.
whatever they want.
Tell you,
They do, and they know what they're doing with that shit, bro. Because
Cinderella.
they can putt and do shit
Yeah,
like this and be
exactly,
ranked at the end
exactly.
of the year without facing consistent formidable opponents. We know this, but this game can honestly go either way on the flip of a coin, bro. Notre Dame beat Texas A&M to begin the season, and they've played nobody after that except Northern Illinois the following week, which they lost that game. Indiana, they've played Michigan and Ohio State this year. They got up on Michigan earlier in that game, but they got completely shut down that second half. Michigan buckled down on them and held them to a field goal in the second half, and it just wasn't happening. Ever since then, they've been kind of different. Ohio State blasted them 38-15, bro, and Indiana scored late in garbage time. But in those two tough games, bro, and those are the only two teams they played. They didn't have to play Oregon. They didn't have to play Penn State.
Hell no.
So I just feel like in those games,
Easy road.
finishing for them is a problem, bro, and competition matters, bro. Not to mention, let me say it again, home field advantage it says something here. Not to mention the experience factor. Notre Dame has been to the playoffs before. Having the
Right.
first playoff
Plenty.
game in South Bend at Notre Dame, they're going to be extra motivated. Give me Notre Dame with this. However, Indiana's passing attack is going to present them problems because they can air that shit out, bro. Their quarterback, I think, is leading the nation in passing, bro. So
Yeah.
watch out for Curtis Work, Indiana quarterback. Indiana's a tough team, bro. I just think Notre
Yeah, they
Dame's
is.
better.
They is. Definitely.
I'm just surprised they're there, honestly. I didn't
Me
think
too.
they'd get in with everybody else. So let's go on to the quarterfinals. I would have Clemson versus Arizona State because these are not home games anymore. Neutral site. So this would be a very balanced matchup, dude. Clemson and Arizona State, two tough teams. I would think Clemson has the advantage by their coach, their roster, and their experience. Arizona State is efficient on offense, but to me, they're kind of like a one-trick pony right now with Cam Scatabo. I didn't realize last week that their wide receiver Jordan Tyson is out for the year, and that leaves solely too much on Cam
Right.
Scatabo, I feel like, in the long run. He says you can claim to be the best running back in the game all you want to, and you might be right, but you're not good enough to beat a Clemson team if this is the matchup, dude. Experience in this stage matters. Give me
Right.
Clemson to win this game.
Woo.
Ohio State versus Oregon would be my next matchup. So the rematch, bro. Another game that could go either way, obviously. It's very hard to beat the same team twice. We know this, bro. However, I think we're poised to see it again, fellas. I really do. Can Ohio State beat Oregon? Of course they can, man.
Hell yeah.
They almost did earlier in the year at Autzen. But for the same reason they didn't, I think will be the same reason they don't once again. And that would be quarterback Will Howard. He didn't play good enough to win in a few games this year.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Day only trusts him so much, bro. I really do.
He'll be out of
And
there.
we seen that at the Michigan game. Well, I think he's a senior anyway. Or isn't he a senior? He's got to be because he was on Kansas State and he
Fifth.
got replaced by a freshman or a sophomore.
Fifth year senior, I think.
So yeah, so that's why he was out of Kansas State because he got benched in favor of a underclassman. So
Right.
that's why he's there to begin with. But I honestly feel like that's why they played like they did against Michigan because they just didn't trust him. They didn't trust Will Howard enough. He made threw a couple picks, couple dumb throws, made a couple mistakes. So they just didn't trust him. So they tried to run it more. But I think Ohio State's best chance to win here is to essentially try to win like that. Maybe see if they can get it early, like see if they can run on Oregon. And I'm only saying that now. Last round, I'm saying Ohio State play to your strengths and pass the ball. This round, I'm saying you might want to entertain the idea of trying to run the ball. You got two very capable backs in Henderson and Judkins, bro. I'm only saying this because their last matchup Oregon just had, you've seen Penn State do it. Katron Allen and Singleton. They both went for over
Ran through
100.
'em.
Ohio State couldn't do that. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but I would at least entertain the idea of trying.
Try
If
to.
that doesn't work, go to your air raid offense, and then that might, generate some success for you. But overall, I don't think they might try to run the ball because of what I just said if they don't trust Will Howard enough. And like I said, if they've seen vulnerabilities in Clemson's run defense, who knows? We might see that, bro. We just might see it. But
not to interrupt you, but we got a comment on TikTok. Robbie Ward 320. He says you're wrong already. Texas versus Georgia 3.
well, better hope not, because that would be Georgia thumping that ass a third time. I'm not gonna sit here and say anything bad about Georgia. Georgia's making me look foolish, bro. Texas ain't played nobody, man. Texas ain't played nobody, and they are vulnerable. I think they are the team on the highest upset alert in this first round of matchups, man. They really are. No shade at them. That's just what it is.
Especially with the running game being freaking lethargic right
non-existent.
now, right? Blew down. Their main running back was down from the season from the get go. You know, you're on your third string, fourth string running back now, so it's gonna be tough to run through anybody right now, for real. And if Quentin Ewers don't throw that shit 400 yards, shit, how the hell they gonna win? Beat anybody? You feel me? They could lose the first game, really. You know,
right? And if Texas plays Georgia for the third time, Texas would have to get through Clemson, got to get through Arizona State, got to get through potentially Oregon or Ohio State. Yeah, good luck. We'll have that tune back into this podcast in a few weeks, and we'll see. We'll revisit that topic then, sir. Thank you for your comment, though. Appreciate you. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Oregon Ducks to win this rematch, bro. I trust them more. They're the most complete team in college football, man, and I don't see them allowing 200-yard rushers each again. But Ohio State might want to try to attack that run game, though. There's some vulnerabilities there. Next game with my bracket matchup would be Penn State versus Boise State, and I can only pray we get this matchup, bro, because I feel like this would be a fun matchup to watch. In my opinion, the best running back in the country, and Ashton Genty versus a top elite defensive Penn State, man. I would love to see this. This should be like a relatively close game for the most part, I think. But I would expect Penn State to pull away late as the time, approaches on. But I just think the Nittany Lions are better all around. No shade at Boise State. The strength of schedule is, and no shade thrown at them, but it is what it is, man. When they did play the one opponent in Oregon, they lost by 3. Looked phenomenal. It was great. I wish I got to see them play more top tier opponents, and maybe they'll play and they'll prove me wrong, beat Penn State here. I'm just not seeing it. I think Penn State wins this game. Yep. And if you're reading this, it's too late. Notre Dame versus Georgia, bro. Notre Dame would be here at this point by default on my pick here. They would beat an Indiana team who was also there by default. I feel like, but competition matters, dude, and who you play matters. When you're an independent like Notre Dame, you rarely face top formidable competition on a regular basis. It earns a lot of 9, 10, 11 win seasons, but when it matters most, what Notre Dame's done. I mean, what have they done every time they made it to the college football playoffs? We know their resume. Georgia, I don't care if Carson Beck is playing. I don't care if Gunnar Stockton is playing. That might be a cause for pause for most people, but, dude, I don't give a fuck. I do not care anymore. I don't care who is in there taking the snaps for Georgia. I trust they are good enough to go win them a game.
Yeah.
Their defense is playing good enough for them to go win some games. Right now they are.
That's what it is.
I know what that shit was a couple weeks ago, but now, right here, what I just seen last game, I'm not picking against them. Crazy. Gunnar Stockton, John Stockton. I don't give a damn who's playing quarterback for the Bulldogs.
I mean, if it was John Stockton, he's an all-time assist leader, so he's out there wheeling and dealing, so that might be even better.
Kirby Smart, best in the business. I'm not counting Georgia out, bro, especially against a team that always chokes in the playoffs and hasn't won a natty since 1988, bro. I wasn't even alive then. What are we talking about here? And then if all this pans out, bro, so my final matchups obviously would be Clemson, Oregon, and at that point in time, I'm strong on Clemson. I just talked them up. I'm picking them to win a couple games. A lot of people aren't picking them to win, but their luck would run out against Oregon. Oregon's just that much better. They would end up pulling away from them. It'd be a lot like when you see Clemson the first game of the year versus Georgia type shit. I feel like that they would end up getting in Clemson's ass, but that's no shade at the Clemson. If you made it that far, that's great because nobody really gave you a chance. And then obviously Penn State, Georgia, kind of the same dialect there, bro. I just feel like at that point, Penn State, you done made it so far. I don't trust Penn State to win big games. A couple of these playoff games, I think they can map out just because of their matchups and and how everything's unfolding, home game and all that. But big game when it counts against a top tier opponent like Georgia, I'm taking Penn State to win, bro. I mean, not Penn State to win. I'm sorry. I'm taking Georgia to win, bro. Penn State's got to go through the ringer first. Every big team that is not there on a yearly basis, bro, you got to get there. You got to lose a big game before you can get there and win it. No team is an exception to my philosophy here, and I'm sticking with that here, bro. Oregon, Georgia in the championship game. So I understand that Oregon's made the playoffs one time since they began this format, and Oregon's never won a national championship, bro. It's time. Dan Lanning's here. It's time. Yep. And to do this, you have to play a perfect game against Georgia, and I think they are just the team to do it.
Yeah.
Quarterback or not, like I said, Georgia's going to present problems. They're going to give you hell. This is going to be an all-time classic, great instant classic game matchup.
Hell yeah.
Oregon, Georgia, Natty. I'm taking the Ducks to win it, bro. I think this is their year. Dan Lanning gets it done, bro. And it's crazy because the beginning of the year, when Alabama, when Nick Saban stepped down and all that, Dan Lanning was one of their first calls, and he's like, I'm good right here.
Mm-hmm.
Only
Right.
undefeated team out of the big dogs, bro. Only undefeated team, number one seed.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations to Oregon. I think they win it here, bro. And I think that, they handle business, bro. Beat Georgia.
He said, "I stay where I'm at." Shit, see where I'm at now. Right.
Exactly.
Alabama having hella trouble, bro. Like, I don't get it, but like you say, the coach. When you got a coach that's been there and has seen every situation it is for the last 20 plus years, bro, you could tell the difference, bro. I don't care how good this dude is. I don't care how good your team was last year. This is a whole different group of guys or whatever. You got to try to get in the shape in 9 months. You feel me? And that shit is damn near impossible to do, bro. But he's done a great job, but I don't think he was the guy for the job, you know?
Well, I think Kalen DeBoer is going to be good for Bama. I really do, man. It's the 3 games they lost. Really, only. I mean, you should never lose to Vanderbilt, but I mean, it's growing pains, man. You're gonna live, you're gonna learn. 9-3 season's not the worst season in the world. Your first year taking over, albeit Bama, I get that. That's
Jaden
That's
Milroe,
it.
is
That's
Jaden
it.
Milroe leaving or is he coming back?
What's up?
Jaden Milroe, is he coming back?
I think he got one more year. He's a
He
sophomore, ain't
can, but I think he'll go, bro.
I thought it was
Who
a
knows?
sophomore.
Who knows? He's a
I don't
junior.
know.
He's a
Is
junior.
he a junior?
Yeah, I think he'll go. But we'll see what happens, man. If he comes back, watch out. Watch the hell out, bro. Tell you right now.
I'm
Right,
looking
yes,
now
sir.
to see what he is.
Yeah, he's a junior.
Yeah, he is a junior. Yeah.
So we got one more bracket, Wes. We got yours to look at, bro.
Yeah, so let's get into that.
Okay, let's see what you got on the bracket matchups. Me and Sam both got Oregon, Georgia, with Oregon emerging victorious. Who do y'all got? Share, comment, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, whatever you watching on the platform. We appreciate you. Chime in, man. Who y'all got winning all this shit?
All right, so as far as my bracket goes, I'll start
Yes,
with
sir.
Clemson and Texas. Clemson got there. They won the ACC. So all the conference champions are basically in.
Mm-hmm.
They got in there by the skin of their teeth, man. I don't want to say it was luck, but it was kind of luck. So, and they're going up against a Texas team. Like you said, Jordan, Texas can't win the big games. They're really iffy. I really like them, but I don't think this is a big game per se. Plus, it will be at home. I'm going to take Texas over Clemson. Should be close until about midway through the fourth quarter. I think Texas will be able to pull away that around them, if not sooner.
Noted.
Texas versus Ohio State or Ohio
Tennessee.
Soft.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. My bad. I was looking straight at it.
Don't fuck their name up. Fuck Ohio South.
So Tennessee, like you said, they got the freshman quarterback Nico Ugliagliaga, whatever his name is.
Iamaleava.
Yeah, like you said, he's went through some growing pains. They've had a pretty good season. They're very lucky to be here in the college playoff. I think the lights might be a little bit too bright for them this year. Like you said, the growing pains might lose this game, come back next year, learn from it, be a better team. He'll be more mature. He'll learn more, and he'll know what to expect out of a college football season.
Word.
Ohio State, but on the other hand, Ohio State, you're going to get one of two Ohio State teams. One that's extremely pissed off for losing to Michigan.
For the 4th straight time.
Yeah. Or they're going to be so defeated from losing to Michigan that they're going to kind of play it like they did against Michigan, and Nico and them are going to fucking air the ball out, and they're going to get the win. I don't think that's
Yeah.
gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen this game. So I'm gonna take Ohio State to win.
Okay, it's not.
Yeah,
It's a potential threat.
I've
Be
gotten
quiet.
text messages and shit. I don't know. I guess I
Alright.
need to buy a
So you got Ohio
$10,000 PC next. But anyways, like I said, I don't think 100. I don't think Tennessee is going to be able to overcome, Ohio State and the 100,000 plus people in the horseshoe. So I'm going to take Ohio State. Next game is SMU versus Penn State in Beaver Stadium. Like you said, SMU is a Texas team. And I will admit, I've been to Texas in the wintertime, and when I was there, I got fucking cold.
Oh please.
I swear to God.
Oh Lord.
All those desert areas. That should have
Good
given
Well,
you
I was in San Antonio. I was at Lackland Air Force Base, and it got fucking cold there. But anyways,
I am Michigan made. Y'all don't know.
they're they're traveling up to to the East Coast. It's pretty cold here now, so we're used to it. They might not be. Penn State, I'm kind of iffy on winning the big games. Clearly they fucking lost a couple of them this season. But against SMU, they had in the conference championship, even though they lost the first half, they played like shit. The second half, they came back and looked,
totally
deserving to be in the playoff. If they play that style of football, they'll definitely give Penn State a run for their money. But I think Penn State is an overall better team, better coach team. Maybe not
I don't know about coach.
not a huge jump as far as coaching, but an all around better team. So I'm gonna take Penn State over SMU to face Boise State, Indiana, and Notre Dame. I know your hate for Notre Dame, obviously, as you spoke to it being independent, getting to basically pick who they want to play and never playing anybody. Even when they apparently this year when they played nobodies, they still lost when they lost to Northern Illinois earlier this year. So they're probably lucky to be in this playoff as well. Indiana is coming in red hot. Even though that is the case, I'm still going to take Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I just think is it's one of those teams where the first round they're just not going to lose. I mean, yeah, they haven't won a national championship. They were wasn't the I don't think it was the playoffs then when like Manti Te'o was there, right? They didn't have the playoffs yet, did they?
It was. They got waxed.
Yeah, I know they got fucking waxed. I know
that game was
waxed.
over in the tunnel when they seen Bama come out.
Yeah, I know. But
like 2015, 2016, something like that.
So,
yeah.
They were in the championship games, so they have a championship game experience, or they have playoff experience. So, based on that, I'm gonna take Notre Dame over Indiana in the first round. Quarterfinals, I got Texas and Arizona State. Like I said, Texas can't win the big games. I don't necessarily see this as another big game for Texas, even though Arizona State looked really good against Iowa State, and which ruined my fucking pick. But the running back, like you said earlier, he thinks he's the best running back in the country. He's going to have to be if he goes against Texas and that fucking defense.
Yeah,
Texas might be iffy in winning big games, but their defense is still legit. In the big games, it comes down to like Quinn Ewers and shit like that, making and not making plays. So if he does that against Arizona State, they could pull it out, but I don't see that happening. I think Texas is an overall better team, unless your boy goes on Arizona State, just goes off. If he pulls an Ashton Gianti type of game, that'd be the only way. But I don't see that happening against the interior of Texas's defense. So I'm going to take Texas to win against Arizona State. Next game, I got Ohio State and Oregon. I think like we all do for the rematch. Oregon won by 1 point, off a bonehead play. But after they beat Tennessee, this is another game of who do we get? Ohio State, or Ohio soft?
Soft.
Coming off, I know they're still going to have the Michigan game in the back of their head, and that they're going to want to take it out on everybody. But they're going up against the best team in the country. Well, at this point, they'll be going up against the best team in the country. And if you can see, I have Oregon, in the championship of my bracket. And, well, this will be a neutral site. So, could swing either way, but I think Oregon's going to take it because, like I said, they're the best team in the country. And Ohio State, Ryan Day, I think this might be a game where they kind of play like they did against Michigan. All passive, not aggressive. And like you said, Oregon State loses that game, you better fucking hide Ryan Day and his family, put him in witness protection or something.
Well, that's if he loses to Tennessee. If he loses to Oregon, I think he'll get a little bit more leniency. But he loses that first round game, they better get his wife into witness protection agent, all that shit, bro. Like, for real. It's bad.
So the next game, I got Penn State and Boise State. My heart wants me to go Boise State because I'm all about Ashton Jeanty. But Penn State and their defense are solid. And if they crowd that fucking box, Jeanty, he's not going to be able to get, 150, 180, 200 plus yards. I could be wrong any given day, that could be the case, but I don't see it against Penn State.
I don't either.
And Penn State is one of those iffy teams, they can't win the big games. And even though this is the quarterfinals, I don't think that this is a big game. I know there's a lot riding on it. If they lose. If they lose, what's that?
I say it's a lot at stake for them.
Yeah. If you lose, then you're done. I get it, but I think they're a better overall team than what Boise State is, and I don't think Ashton Jeanty will be able to carry them through the Penn State Nittany Lions. So
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. But Penn State, they're built to win games like that against teams like that. You know, great teams, top teams, they can win those games. It's just the best teams.
Right.
The best teams they have problems with. That's where they struggle. They beat good teams in bowl games all the time, bro, but they can do it.
Right. So, Notre Dame and Georgia. Went back and forth with this one only because we don't know if Carson Beck's going to be playing because I guess it's an undisclosed injury, but I heard earlier today it's an upper extremity injury. And if you look at that game in the SEC Championship, when he came in to hand the ball off to NCN, if he didn't get in then, they were going to run the ball 3 more times. Right. There's no way that he was going to be able to pass the ball. He couldn't even, when he came into the game, he couldn't lift his arm. He couldn't. He wasn't moving it. When he handed the ball off, that fucking arm, he didn't move it.
Okay.
So whatever's going on with him, we don't know. Gunner what? What's his name?
Gunner Stockton, man.
Yeah, Gunner Stockton. He came in second half, brought him all the way back, to tie the game, and then, eventually win the game in overtime. Well, I guess Carson Beck did that with a handoff, but ETN did that nonetheless.
Right.
I don't know how a full game from the Gunner guy, Gunner Stockton, I don't know what that's going to look like. They're going to have, I guess, 2 weeks to prepare for that if Carson Beck doesn't play. I just want to know what's going on with Carson Beck. Like, what's his injury?
I would just treat it like he's not going to play. That's how
that's where I'm at.
To me, it didn't matter. Like it just didn't. But
but being in a quarterfinal playoff game, that's a lot of pressure on a guy. That's a lot of pressure on a guy who hasn't really played. So, and yes, I get it. Georgia is a stacked team. Like you said, you could put John Stockton, whatever Stockton, whoever in there.
I'm just saying they done beat Texas earlier this year.
I get it.
Beck throwing 3 picks, 150 yards.
But that was Carson Beck playing at a really good rate. We don't know what Gunner Stockton is capable of.
Rate.
I mean, they're in the fucking. He got him there to the fucking SEC championship, didn't he?
I mean, he did enough. He started playing better, but I mean, I'm talking about that one game versus Texas, though. You know what I'm saying? For like $150, 3 picks, defense.
He's not a Dylan Gabriel where he's gonna play great all fucking season.
I just think it's more on the defense, but that's fine. That's your pick, bro. Go ahead. Yeah. That's Notre Dame.
So I'm gonna take Notre Dame, man. I think they'll be able to get it done against Georgia just based on we don't know what Gunnar Stockton's all about. So in my semifinal, we got Texas and Oregon. This is the big game for Texas that I think they're going to drop the ball like they usually do and have been doing. Oregon is the best team in the country, has been all fucking season.
By far.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take Oregon. I would like to see Texas. I would like to see Texas make it to the championship. That'd be great. Arch Manning get in there. Quinn Ewers actually finally, get a championship. Or I would have to pick them there. Or they would have to win the championship, but I don't get them. I don't have them going past Oregon, so that is what it is. Penn State versus Notre Dame. This could go either way. Penn State is another one of those teams that is an iffy team. They can't win the big game. This, that, and the third. Notre Dame, like you said, hasn't really played a lot of strong teams, basically because they're they're an independent team and they can choose whatever they want to do. But they're here for a reason. And if they do beat Georgia, I think Penn State will beat them when they face each other. Penn State might have the easiest path to the championship, if you want to say that.
They definitely do.
If they play Penn State football,
they definitely do.
So if that's the case, I could see them beating Notre Dame,
sliding right up in that bit.
Exactly, and that's why I have them in the national championship. So, in my national championship, I got Oregon and Penn State. As much as I would love to see Penn State win it all, that'd be fucking great. I'm going Oregon, guys, man. They are the best team.
3 for 3 on the Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
This is their year. Like you said, they've been there, but they haven't won it. Even back with fucking Mariota and
right.
What's his nuts from last year?
Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix. I don't know why that name left me, but not being able to get it done.
Yep.
I got Oregon. I got Oregon winning it all, man. That's just can't.
All right.
It's kind of like Kansas City. You can't pick them to win or can't pick them to lose until they lose.
Well, that's more like the Bama shit before Saban fucking left. But yeah, I will say though, I don't have the same semifinals matchup with you as Penn State Notre Dame. Mine's obviously different with Georgia and Penn State. But what I will tell you though is if Notre Dame and Penn State got to the point where they do play each other, normally I would look at that this season and I would say Penn State's winning that game. I'm taking them to win that game way more often than not, depending on where it's at, all that. But
right.
If this matchup were to happen, if these two teams match up, that means Notre Dame just beat Georgia.
Right.
So I would have to assess that differently if this ends up being how it plays out.
100%.
So that being said, we'll have to revisit that shit if this shit does play out, just from my perspective, bro.
Right.
Because
and
shit I gotta see.
That would definitely, you would have to look at them in a different light, being able to do that. And the only reason why I would have them beating Georgia is just because we don't know what Gunnar Stockton is about.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he can do in a big game. A full game, we just don't. I get it. Georgia is a stacked team. I get it, but the quarterback leads the team.
Right, but Beck hasn't been doing shit all year. Really,
he's done enough to get him to the SEC championship.
That's it.
He's done enough.
That defense been lights out. That's what it's been. And like I said, the running game it was on their third string running back or whatever, and they still beat freaking Clemson 31-3. You feel me? With a third string running back.
Was that earlier in the season?
First game.
That was first game of the season.
Clemson
right?
wasn't very good at the beginning of the season. Now look where they are.
They was looking good on paper. They was all healthy, whatever. The defense was supposed to be stout. Phil Maffa coming in or whatever for a senior year, ready to run over everybody and shit, bro. And whatchamacallit, because ETN had the DUI suspension.
Yep.
The other guy was hurt. You know what I'm saying? They was on the third string running back, bro. They wasn't doing anything in the first quarter, but guess what? Second, third quarter, whatever, man, the boys started rolling. That's how they do it, though. You feel me?
Well, it's kind of like the NFL. The playoff is a completely different season.
Right.
It is. What I'll say is that all season, Carson Beck has not done what we've expected him to do. I mean, there was talks before the season he's supposed to be a first round
Right.
draft pick.
Yep.
That is not going to be the case now.
No
Yep.
way.
However, he has not lived up to like what we're thought we were going to see from him. Yes, and throughout the year, he's had games where he looks like absolute shit. The first game versus Texas, I just talked about. He threw for like what 160, 170, no touchdowns, three
Yeah,
picks.
but
Defense
Texas
won
turned
you
the
that
ball
game.
over like crazy
But
that game.
I
If they would
get
have done
that.
that, they probably would have won.
I get that, but my point is he did all that and it didn't even matter because of how good the defense was. And they've had games where their defense, they put you in prime position to win games. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they essentially
I
are,
totally get it.
a big, they're doing a big part for you. But the last, like 5 games of the season, Carson Beck did finally start coming on strong where he's throwing multiple 11 touchdowns. I don't think no picks or some shit like that in the last 3 or something. Before he got hurt, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he started playing stronger towards the end of the season. So I will give him credit there. But what we have to remember, gentlemen, is in the past, during playoff times, what we've seen from top programs is that starting quarterback goes down, that next guy up, more often than not, is more than ready and capable to take over, and you could still win big like that. Ohio State showed us that with Cardell Jones the first year the playoffs started in 2014. Nick Saban showed us that when nobody got hurt. Hurts didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
He
They took
benched
him out
him
and put
for
Tua in.
fucking Tua.
Yeah.
And your backup one. Granted,
Right.
these ended up being great players. I'm not saying, and I'm no way saying that Gunnar Stockton is that, but how do we know right now? We don't know this
We
kid.
don't know because
And
we
that's
got no
what-
tape on him.
So
That's
it's
where
something.
that's where we're both at. We don't know.
It's something we have seen before, so it wouldn't be crazy to see that from. And Georgia is a top program who
Right.
would definitely have a quarterback like that capable. You would think on said roster.
That might be
you
a
know?
freaking Mike
So,
Vick or whatever on the back.
You never
on the
know.
back burner.
It
Right.
might be fucking Mike
Hey.
White, man.
Yeah.
Mike White.
Yeah. Matt Castle.
I
Coming
ain't
in after
talking
Tom
Michael,
Brady
I'm
with
talking
him.
Mike.
Michael White, no. No
Hey,
Michael
we
White.
got a
Mike.
we got a comment on TikTok from Chavez1313. He says he's got the dogs winning. Kirby knows how to win big games.
He definitely
He
does,
do.
bro. And look,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
and look on me and Sam's brackets, like we got Georgia, Oregon in the championship. Would it be crazy if Kirby beats Oregon and
It wouldn't be.
Or
It
if
wouldn't
wins
be.
it again? Hell no, bro. That's Kirby.
Okay.
I just
Real.
feel like Oregon's, they're the most complete team, and we all got to give them the edge, right? It sounds like we're all in agreement with that. I mean, Oregon, it would be an upset of a season if they don't win it all this year. This is your year. You have to do it. They've never won one before, bro. They've
Right.
never won a natty. It's
Yeah.
time.
This is the
It's
best
time.
time to do that stuff. And
Got
Oregon is straight offense. Georgia, if Georgia gets there, it's all about the counters. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, well, this is what you got. Okay, this is what I'm coming back with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a boxing match between those guys. So that's what I'm looking forward to, the counters between Georgia, whatever. Oh, I don't have this guy. I don't have this guy. This guy is hurt or whatever. And how healthy is Oregon gonna be going into these games and stuff, whatever? Because they're pretty healthy right now. But shit,
They get 2 weeks to rest, man.
You fighting gauntlet games too. They're gonna have 3
Yeah.
weeks. They're gonna have
That's
3
true.
weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to deal with Ohio State or Tennessee coming off that bye and all that. Yeah, it's no
Right,
cakewalk,
for
dude.
real.
They got a tough road as a 1 seed. You got fucked.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got gauntlets ahead of y'all.
Gauntlet for sure.
Good luck. We'll revisit
it.
the topic, obviously. Anybody who's still tuned in with us at this point, we appreciate y'all. Thank you for the comments. TikTok, YouTube, chime in with us. Follow us.
Twitch.
Follow us for weekly content, man. We're going to do NFL stream tomorrow, so stay tuned, locked in with the Let Loose podcast. Till tomorrow night, fellas. That'll about do it.
Yeah, signing out.
Be easy.
Holla.